In the world of the uber-wealthy, the name Christina Onassis is synonymous with both opulence and sorrow. The stepdaughter of former First Lady Jackie Kennedy, she lived a life defined by immense riches, yet she was burdened by the weight of tragedy that seemed to follow her. This is the story of a woman whose life in the lap of luxury was marked by profound sadness and heartache. Christina Onassis was born in December 1950. Her father, Aristotle, had made the family's fortune as an international shipping magnate. In 1946, he married Athina Livanos, and soon after they had their first child, Alexander. Allegedly, the couple didn't want to have any more children, as they thought it would make company inheritance tricky. They terminated 2 pregnancies after Alexander to ensure he remained an only child, but then Athina became pregnant with Christina. Not wanting to risk her health, she decided to go through with the pregnancy, much to Aristotle's dismay. Christina's father didn't want her. Aristotle eventually came to love his daughter and enjoyed having her around, but he was frequently away, running his growing business. Athina was distant with her children, as she felt she wasn't a good mother. Between both parents, the children received little affection, causing Christina to simply stop talking at the age of 5. Her parents took her to a treatment center in Zurich, where it was determined she had selective mutism. As Christina grew up, tensions between her parents increased. They wound up getting a divorce when she was 8, after Aristotle had a public affair with opera singer Maria Callas. Despite Athina also engaging in extramarital affairs, Christina saw her father's mistress as the reason why their family wasn't getting back together. According to Heres, the story of Christina Onassis, Athina wanted to arrange a marriage between her daughter and Philippe Niarchos, Christina's first cousin and the heir to a close shipping rival. Shockingly, the pair gave it a shot, but ultimately decided that a marriage wasn't going to happen. Aristotle tried to arrange a different union many years later to Peter Goulandris. He was also an heir to a shipping company that Christina's father wanted to make part of his dynasty. Athina tried to pressure her daughter into the marriage, despite her repeated rejection of the idea, with the subject only being dropped upon Aristotle's death. But more on that later. The dissolution of her parents' relationship likely contributed to her intense dislike of Aristotle's wife, Jackie Kennedy, whom he married just 5 years after JFK's assassination. Even though Christina had years to get used to their marriage, she never did. She allegedly cried all the way through their wedding, and not tears of joy. On one occasion, she called Kennedy "my father's unfortunate obsession." While a new stepmother might not have been the most tragic thing to happen to Christina, the period that followed certainly was. Within 29 months, she lost everyone in her immediate family. Alexander, at only 24, was the first to die while training a new pilot on his personal plane over Athens. Her mother followed next in 1974, leaving Christina her entire $77 million estate. In March 1975, Aristotle was the final one to go. His health had declined since Alexander's death, as he believed it had been caused by foul play. In those years, he'd also been preparing Christina to take over his company, which she did successfully. She inherited $500 million, 55% of her father's savings. She decided to donate the portion from his American endeavors to the American Hospital of Paris. Just as Aristotle believed Alexander's death was suspicious, Christina believed her mother's was too. After the Onassis' divorce, Athina married Stavros Niarchos, a widower and rival of their shipping dynasty. Before Alexander and Aristotle died, they agreed he'd likely taken out Eugenie, Athina's sister, and his previous wife. Her death only added fuel to the fire for Christina, who sought an autopsy on her mother's body and went to the press with her suspicions. Stavros was extremely unhappy about these accusations and retaliated by releasing information about Christina and her struggles with depression to the press. Aside from depression, one of the most prevalent themes of Christina's existence was her poor love life. She was married 4 times, with none of them ending well, as she believed her partners only wanted her money. Her family was also more than happy to meddle in her personal affairs. Aristotle launched a smear campaign against his daughter's first husband, Joseph Bolker, while her second, Alexander Andreades, tried to use her money to keep his failing business afloat. Christina's third husband was a suspected KGB agent, while her fourth, Thierry Roussel, cheated on her. Perhaps part of Christina's curse with love came from the fact she was never able to capture the man she really wanted. She became obsessed with the heir to the Mercedes-Benz fortune, Mick Flick, although he had no interest in her. She tried to date him, but he always turned her down. She even tried to make herself more appealing, going so far as to dye her hair blonde, as he preferred women with light hair. None of her ploys worked. Tragically, Christina's life came to an end on November 19th, 1988, when she was just 37. With what appeared to be tragedy after tragedy, she was dubbed "Poor Little Rich Girl" by the press. She was buried alongside her brother and father in the family plot on Scorpios. Her $250 million fortune was left to her daughter, Athina, who was born during her final marriage.